Prince Harry is furious with King Charles. It all started with a simple letter. Harry reached out to his father, King Charles, to request an invitation to an important event organized by the King's Foundation. On the surface, it seemed like a straightforward request, but it held a lot of significance for Harry. This event was a big gathering where many influential figures, including leaders and philanthropists, came together to support charitable causes. It could have been a perfect chance for Harry to reconnect with the royal family and make a statement. However, what he got in response was silence, followed by a clear and firm rejection. This wasn't just a case of a missed message or a calendar conflict. According to sources close to the royal family, the answer was prompt and deliberate. There was no invitation, no option to join online, and not even a place in the audience. The message was clear. The monarchy is not just moving forward, it's moving on, without Harry. What makes this rejection particularly harsh is the context. This was not just any small gathering. It was the King's Foundation event, a public display of the monarchy's vision for the future, aiming to demonstrate power, purpose, and legacy. The guest list included prominent royals, public figures, and well-known personalities, such as Prince William, Princess Anne, and Queen Camilla, along with celebrities like David Beckham and Kate Winslet. But Harry, his name was absent, and many people took notice. Inside the palace, the sentiment was clear. A senior aide reportedly remarked, "The king sees no reason to reward betrayal with visibility." This statement resonated because it illustrates how Harry is viewed within royal circles, not as a son trying to mend family ties, but rather as someone who has strayed too far. What really hurts is how public this whole situation has become. When the guest list for a royal event was shared online, Harry's name was noticeably missing. It felt like a clear message: you don't belong here anymore. For Harry, who grew up in royalty and once had the chance to take on a leadership role, realizing this was really difficult. Reports suggest he saw this event as a chance to show that he still believed in the royal values of service and duty. However, the palace wasn't interested. The king reportedly made a swift decision to turn down Harry's request without any discussion. Some people close to the situation felt relieved that a firm boundary was finally established after years of uncertainty about Harry's role. On top of that, while Harry was trying to reconnect with his family, Meghan Markle remained quiet and seemingly uninvolved. Friends of the couple say she didn't support Harry's efforts to return to royal life and was more focused on her own career in California. Her silence spoke volumes, suggesting that she had already moved on and considered the situation hopeless. What started as a family disagreement has escalated into something much more serious. It seems less like a family issue and more like a complete separation that looks permanent. Harry wanted to fix things, but it seems the royal family has decided to close the door for good. Inside Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere was just as King Charles had hoped, calm and accepting of a decision that had been made. The staff didn't just agree, they were actually relieved. For a long time, they had carefully managed Prince Harry's unpredictable behavior, trying to balance their loyalty to the royal family with their understanding of him as the king's son. But now, their sympathy had faded. The general sentiment was clear. You can't uphold the values of duty and honor if you allow someone who profits from family drama to come back. Harry had crossed a line. Even some of his former supporters in the media have changed their opinions. Commentators who once admired him for sharing his story are now noticing a troubling pattern in his actions. His interviews, deals, and constant complaints seem never-ending, and people are starting to get tired of it. Social media erupted with reactions after the news broke about his exclusion. Hashtags like "Cried No More," "Harry," and "Dolly Royal Reckoning" became popular. The tweets varied from critical to simply disappointed, but many shared a common thought. He made his choices, and now he has to deal with the consequences. One popular tweet captured the sentiment perfectly. You can't write a tell-all book criticizing your family, and then be surprised when you don't get invited to family gatherings. The public's patience is wearing thin, and even some of his fans are admitting that this ongoing drama is exhausting. At a time when the royal family is trying hard to project stability and purpose, Harry's situation is seen as a potential problem, awkward and harmful. There's a lot of talk about security when it comes to Prince Harry. Insiders say that part of Harry's request for support included discussions about safety for him and his family if he returned to the UK. However, palace officials reportedly stopped those discussions quickly, stating that since Harry no longer has official royal responsibilities, he isn't entitled to the same security protections. This refusal hurt Harry, especially since he has often expressed how losing protection made him feel vulnerable and highlighted his separation from the royal family. From the palace's perspective, it was never personal. It was just the rules. They believe that without an official role, there's no reason for security, and regardless of Harry's protests, that decision isn't going to change. Behind the scenes, things are also shifting. Sources close to the palace indicate there are early discussions about possibly reviewing Harry's remaining titles. Nothing has been finalized yet. Changes are on the way. The recent snub he received at a royal event might be a sign of something bigger, a complete separation from the royal family, not only emotionally, but also in terms of official status. The royal family is communicating their stance quietly, through actions and exclusions rather than public statements. Meanwhile, in California, Meghan's silence is sparking curiosity. Some believe she's intentionally distancing herself, focusing on her own projects, and allowing Harry to deal with the situation on his own. Others think she has already accepted what Harry struggles to acknowledge, that their time as royals is over, and any chance of returning is out of reach. Her absence has become a topic of discussion. In a situation where every move is closely watched, Meghan's lack of involvement stands out. It's not only the media that has noticed. Palace insiders see it as a sign of growing division between Harry and Meghan, as if she has moved on from a struggle that Harry is still engaged in. Hollywood, which Harry hoped would be his safety net, isn't proving to be as supportive as he expected. When he and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, there was excitement about potential talk show appearances and big money deals. However, that excitement is fading. Major platforms are now pulling back. Spotify has already dropped them, and Netflix is reportedly not as interested anymore. Though executives may not say it directly, people are starting to feel that Harry isn't as appealing as he once was. The mystery that came with being a royal rebel is fading, replaced by concerns and controversies. Producers are becoming cautious, and brands are being careful not to get involved in any royal drama. In an industry that thrives on public favor, Harry is beginning to look like a risky choice. One public relations expert even mentioned he came in as royalty, but he's turning into tabloid news, and that transition isn't easy. Without his royal connections in the spotlight, Prince Harry faces some tough questions about his identity. His public persona has long been tied to his role in the royal family, and while he stepped away from that life, it still gave him some influence. Now, as the royal family tries to put more distance between them and Harry, that connection is weakening. He can still give interviews and publish books, but without the royal backing, they don't have the same weight. The real concern is not just about fading into the background, it's about becoming irrelevant, like a character in a story that people lose interest in. In the UK, people are starting to think seriously about Harry's legacy. Some experts are drawing comparisons to other royals who were sidelined when they strayed too far from the family, but were quietly forgotten. What makes this situation different? It's all unfolding under global scrutiny, with every move and decision being watched by millions. Meanwhile, King Charles is standing firm. To him, the monarchy takes priority over everything, even family relationships. A clear sign of this shift was seen at a recent event hosted by the King's Foundation. The guest list was carefully curated, not just filled with famous names, but chosen to reflect values the royal family wanted to highlight: unity, loyalty, and stability. By including popular figures like David Beckham and Kate Winslet, while leaving out Harry, it sent a strong message. This is our circle now, and you're outside of it. For Harry, being overlooked like this is deeply impactful. He didn't just miss out on the event, he was entirely left out of the conversation. There was no recorded message from him, no online presence, just silence. This absence spoke volumes, signaling that he is no longer part of the royal narrative. With Meghan Markle focusing on her own projects, the royal family turning its back, and Harry's interest in America starting to wane, he now faces a new chapter, one without the royal safety net and without a guaranteed audience. This path was his choice, but it's quickly becoming more challenging. There's still an opportunity for him to redefine himself, but it won't come from trying to regain royal relevance. If Harry wants to create something meaningful, it needs to come from his own efforts and ideas. The message from the monarchy is clear. The story has moved on, and Harry is no longer a part of it.